It's past midnight. The rain is coming down in sheets, and Tushar is sprinting through flooded alleyways to catch the absolute last transit option home. He is completely drained, both physically and mentally. When he finally hauls himself through the doors, he finds a rare kind of urban sanctuary. The bus is entirely empty and perfectly quiet. He collapses into a window seat at the back. The rhythmic drumming of the rain against the glass, combined with the isolation of the cabin, pulls him under. He closes his eyes to rest them for a moment. Exactly 2 minutes later, his eyes snap open. The environment has inverted. The previously barren bus is now packed shoulder to shoulder with silent passengers. Curious, slightly tense. There is no logical way this crowd could be here. Tushar knows the bus hasn't slowed down or made a single stop since he boarded. Faced with an impossible scenario, extreme fatigue overrides his logic. His brain forces a rationalization. He convinces himself he is simply hallucinating from a long workday, and he allows himself to drift back to sleep. Desperate to escape the suffocating confusion, Tushar uses sleep as a mental escape hatch, hoping to wake up to a reset reality. When he opens his eyes for the second time, the bus is instantly, impossibly empty once again. The sterile air of the closed cabin is suddenly cut by a distinct, sharp odor. A thick cloud of biddy smoke floats directly in front of him. Sitting in the adjacent seat, where no one sat a moment ago, is a heavily wrinkled old man, calmly drawing on a hand-rolled cigarette in the dark. The old man speaks with an unsettling calm. He claims that he has ridden this exact bus every single night after midnight for the past 30 years. He shares a memory from a year prior. A hollow-eyed entity had boarded, stared directly at him, whispered, "You shouldn't be here," and vanished into thin air without the bus ever slowing down. The old man's story adds a second layer of unreality to the environment. Tushar is no longer just seeing things. He is hearing about things others have seen, embedding the nightmare into his memory before he can even wake up. Overwhelmed, Tushar succumbs to another heavy wave of exhaustion. When he stirs again, the old man and the scent of smoke are gone. Now, a few seats away in the dark cabin, a new passenger sits perfectly still. It's 1 a.m., yet this man is casually reading a broadsheet newspaper. Slowly, the man lowers the paper. Above the fold, the top half of his head is a grotesque, bloody ruin, a crushed skull completely devoid of life. Tushar screams and squeezes his eyes shut. A cold hand grips his shoulder. He opens his eyes to find the exact same man leaning over him, offering a bottle of water, his face now perfectly intact and uninjured. The man smiles faintly, noting that weird things happen on this bus, and things tend to disappear. His tone then sharpens, instructing Tushar that he needs to leave immediately. Before Tushar can process the warning, the man walks to the open doors and steps straight out of the speeding vehicle into the pitch-black night. The sickening sound of a heavy crash echoes from the pavement. This violent physical disruption pierces through the haze of Tushar's exhaustion. The passive state shatters, triggering his primal survival instinct to flee. Adrenaline floods his system. Tushar sprints toward the exit, hurling himself out into the freezing rain at the very next stop. Standing soaked on the dark curb, he watches the vehicle slowly pull away. In that moment, the illusion dissolves. He is no longer looking at a standard city transit bus. Instead, a severely burnt, mangled, and rusted shell creeps down the street, a ruin that clearly suffered a catastrophic accident long ago. Through the shattered, jagged window frames, he sees the passengers. The interior is packed with the dead. The newspaper reader and the old man are among them, all turning to stare at him with identical, silent smiles. Tushar unknowingly boarded a ghost vessel, a motorized tomb doomed to endlessly repeat its final, fatal route through the city. Modern horror thrives in the vulnerability of our daily, inescapable routines, where a mundane commute seamlessly transitions into a supernatural trap.